Hello dear students, myself Professor Mrunal Santosh Ugle, Assistant Professor in Civil Engineering Department of Kekewak Institute of Engineering Education and Research, Nasik. Today we are going to discuss the theodolite surveying under the subject of surveying. So let us start with the content. So today we are discuss the study of Vernier Transit 22nd theodolite, principle of the theodolite, use of theodolite, classification of theodolite, basic terms used in the transit vernier theodolite, fundamental axis of the theodolite, adjustment of a transit theodolite, measurement of horizontal angle and measurement of vertical angle. So these are the contents today we are taking in our discussion. So let us start about the introduction of theodolite surveying. So you know that we can measure the horizontal angle by using a prismatic compass with respect to meridian, which is less accurate, and also it is not possible to measure vertical angle with a compass. So when the objects are at a considerable distance or situated at a considerable elevation or the depression, it becomes necessary to measure horizontal and vertical angles more precisely. So these measurements are taken by an instrument known as theodolite. So the system of surveying in which the angles are measured with the help of theodolite is known as theodolite surveying. A theodolite is a precision optical instrument for measuring angles between designated visible points in the horizontal and vertical planes. So the basically theodolite is the most intricate and accurate instrument for measuring horizontal and vertical angle. So it consists of a telescope by means of which distant object can be sighted. The telescope has two distinct motions, one in the horizontal plane and other is in the vertical plane. The former being measured on graduated horizontal circle by means of a set of verniers, and the later on a graduated vertical circle by two verniers. So it can also be used for various other purposes such as laying of horizontal angles, locating points on a line, prolonging survey lines, establishing grades, and determining the distance in elevations. So this is all about the introduction of theodolite surveying. So let us start with the next topic, which is principle of theodolite. So the principle of the theodolites are the beam of a light travel in a straight line, and that when you know the length of one side of a triangle and angles of the corner are measured by reflecting beams of light, then you can precisely map feature on a ground both horizontally and vertically. So this is the principle of theodolite. Then next topic is use of theodolite. So as we already discussed about the measurement of horizontal and vertical angle is the main use of this theodolite. Then next, locating the point on a line, then prolonging a survey lines, then finding difference of level. So in that we can easily calculate the earthwork calculation, then setting out the grades, ranging curves. So basically this ranging curves is in the application of align to align the road, railways, highways, etc. Then next one is the tachometric survey. So these are the uses of theodolite. Then next topic, which is the classification of theodolite. So in that classification, basically it is classified in two types. So in that, number one, which is the transit theodolite, and second one is the non-transit theodolite. And in the next type of theodolite, in that number one, vernier theodolite, and second one is the micrometer theodolite. So this is the classification of theodolite. We will discuss the detail in the next slide, which is first, which is the transit theodolite. Basically, what is my transit theodolite? A theodolite is called as a transit theodolite when its telescope can be transited, that is revolved through a complete revolution about its horizontal axis in the vertical plane. And second type, which is the non-transit theodolite, which is exactly reverse to this transit theodolite. That is, the telescope cannot be transited. They are inferior in utility and have now become obsolete. So this is the first classification of theodolite. Then next classification of theodolite, in that first type, which is the vernier theodolite. So for the reading the graduated circle, if the vernier are used, the theodolite is called as vernier theodolite. Then next type is micrometer theodolite. So it is provided to read the graduated circle, the same is called as micrometer theodolite. So generally today we use the vernier type of theodolite, is it right? Then next topic, which is the size of theodolite. So basically the size of theodolite is designated by the diameter of the graduated circle on the lower plate. Then the common sizes are 8 cm to 12 cm, while the 14 cm to 25 cm instrument are used for the triangulation work. Greater accuracy is achieved with larger theodolite as they have bigger graduated circle with larger divisions, hence used where the survey works require high degree of accuracy. So this is all about the size of theodolite. Then next topic is transit vernier theodolite. So this transit vernier theodolite is also known as 22nd transit theodolite. So 22nd is the least count of this theodolite. Then transit vernier theodolite essentially consists of the leveling head, then lower circular plate, upper plate, telescope, vernier scale, T frame, plumb bob. So these are the essential things which is there in this theodolite. Which, and last one is the tripod stand, which is here, which is on that we can easily set the theodolite. Then next one is the parts of the theodolite. In that we'll see the sectional view of the theodolite. So in that, here basically this here the vertical axis is there. In that this vertical axis, which is perpendicular to the horizontal axis, basically this theodolite is placed on the tripod stand with the help of this tripod legs. Then next one is the tripod heads. Then here trivet is there, and this part is nothing but the leveling head. With the help of this leveling screw we can easily perform the leveling work of this theodolite, which we can rotate in clockwise, means in that two types is there in that leveling. So in that basically the bubble tube is there, which is parallel to the 2-foot screw, and we can rotate this 2-foot screw in inward direction or outward direction so that this bubble gets center. Then in the next process we can perform the bubble tube exactly perpendicular to the previous position, and a remaining screw we can rotate in clockwise direction or the anti-clockwise direction so that this bubble get center. Now in this way we can easily perform the leveling work with the help of this leveling screw. Then next, this part is nothing but the tri branch. Then outer spindle is there, inner spindle is there, then lower plate and upper plate is there. So with the help of this we can easily measure the horizontal angle. So on that vernier A and vernier B, these are the two types, and here the eyepiece is there. So with the help of this eyepiece we can easily measure the horizontal angle. Then this is the plate level, this is the eyepiece, here is the vertical circle. So on that we can measure the vertical angle by moving this vertical clamping screw. Then this is the telescope, which is most important part. This is the telescope, and this axis, which is the imaginary axis which is passing through this axis of the telescope. Then these are the objectives. Here altitude bubble tube is there for the leveling purpose. So and this is the Trunnion axis, which is also known as horizontal axis, which is perpendicular to the vertical axis. So this is all the part of the theodolite. Then next one is the fundamental axis of the theodolite. So basically in this diagram shows the different axes of the theodolite. So see here, as we already discussed, the vertical axis and the this is the vertical axis and this is the horizontal axis. This horizontal axis is exactly perpendicular to the vertical axis. Then this is the line of sight or the line of collimation. This assembly is nothing but the allied assembly. Then this is the horizontal circle assembly and this is the leveling head assembly. So this is all the fundamental axis of the theodolite. When we adjust the theodolite on the tripod stand, so some conditions of the adjustments are there. So in that about 5 to 6 adjustments are there which we have to follow at the time of taking the reading. So in that the axis of the plate level must be perpendicular to the vertical axis. Then the line of collimation must be at right angle to the horizontal axis. Then the horizontal axis must be perpendicular to the vertical axis. Then the axis of telescope level or the altitude level must be parallel to the line of collimation. Then if the transit has a fixed vertical vernier, the vertical circle vernier must read 0 when the telescope level is center. And next one is, if the transit is provided with stating level, the axis of the stating level must be parallel to the horizontal axis. So these are also known as permanent adjustment of the theodolite. Then next topic, which is basic terms used in the transit theodolite. So let us start with the first term, which is the centering. So what is by centering? So basically centering is the setting the theodolite exactly over the station mark. If it can be done by means of plumb bob suspended from a small hook attached to the underside of the vertical axis of the theodolite, or with the help of optical plumette you can exactly perform the centering work of this theodolite. Then next term is there, which is the transiting. It is also known as plunging or the reversing. So what is by transiting? So by transiting it means the process of turning the telescope over its supporting axis, that is horizontal axis, through 180 degree in a vertical plane, thus bringing it upside down and making it point exactly in the opposite direction, which is nothing but the transiting or plunging or the reversing. Then next basic term is there, which is the swinging the telescope. It means the turning the telescope in a horizontal plane. A swing is called right or the left according as the telescope is rotated clockwise or counterclockwise direction. Then next term is there, which is the face left. So in the sectional view of the telescope we see the vertical circle. So the according to the position of this vertical circle, this term is there, which is the face left and face right. So what is by face left? When the vertical circle of the instrument is on the left of the observer when taking a reading, the position is called as face left. Is it right? Then next term is there, which is the face right. So exactly reverse to this face left, which is when the vertical circle of the instrument is on the right of the observer, the position is called as face right. Then next term is there, which is the changing the face. Means in that again two faces are there, means face left observation, face right observation. So what is by changing the face? So it is the operation of bringing the vertical circle to the right of the observer if originally it is to the left and vice versa. So in that face left observation, face right observation, these are the again two parts are there. Then next term, which is the line of collimation. So this line of collimation is also known as line of sight. So the line of collimation is the imaginary line joining the intersection of the crosshair of the diaphragm to the optical center of the object glass and its continuation. So in this diagram here, this is the diagram of telescope. In that, here object glass is there, and here the diaphragm is there, which is here. And this is the imaginary line, which is nothing but the line of sight. Means what? It is the imaginary line joining the intersection of the crosshair of the diaphragm. See here, in this diagram here shows the crosshair of the diaphragm and to the optical center of the object glass. So here it is the object glass is there, and the optical center is at the center of this object glass and its continuation. So this is nothing but the line of collimation. Then next term is there, which is the axis of telescope. So the axis of telescope is the line joining the optical center of the object glass to the center of the eyepiece. So this is also the axis of telescope. Then next term, which is the axis of level tube or the bubble line. So it is again the straight line tangential to the longitudinal curve of the level tube at the center of the tube. It is horizontal when the bubble is at the center. Then next term is there, which is the vertical axis. So in the sectional view of the telescope, we see the location of this vertical axis. So it is the axis about which the telescope can be rotated in the horizontal plane. Then next term is there, which is the horizontal axis, which is also known as Trunnion axis. So it is the axis about which the telescope can be rotated in the vertical plane, and the relation of this horizontal and vertical axis is both are perpendicular to the each other. Is it right? So this is all about the basic terms used in the transit theodolite. Then next point, which is the adjustment of the theodolite. In that, basically two types of adjustments are there. In that, basically two types of adjustments are there: permanent adjustment and the temporary adjustment. So let us start with the first, which is the permanent adjustment. So the permanent adjustment are made to establish the relationship between the fundamental lines of the theodolite, and once made, they last for a long time. They are essentially for the accuracy of the observation. So in the previous slide we discussed about the fundamental axis and their relation. So in that adjustment of the horizontal plate, the axis of the plate level must be perpendicular to the vertical axis. Then in collimation adjustment, the line of collimation should be coincide with the axis of the telescope and the axis of the objective slide, and should be at right angles to the horizontal axis. Then third permanent adjustment, which is the horizontal axis adjustment. So in that, the horizontal axis must be perpendicular to the vertical axis. Then fourth adjustment of telescope level or the altitude level plate level. The axis of telescope level or the altitude level must be parallel to the line of collimation. Then fifth adjustment, which is the vertical circle index adjustment. So in that, the vertical circle vernier must read 0 when the line of collimation is horizontal. So these are the permanent adjustment of the theodolite. Then next type, which is the temporary adjustment. So in that, temporary adjustment are made at each set of the instrument before we start taking observation with the instrument. There are three temporary adjustment of that theodolite. So in that, number one, centering, leveling and focusing. So centering we can do with the help of plumb bob and the optical plumette. Then second one is the leveling. So leveling operation we can perform with the help of leveling screw, with the help of leveling head. And third one is the focusing. So focusing of the object we can perform with the help of focusing screw. So these are the adjustment of the theodolite. Then next topic, which is the measurement of horizontal angle. So basic use of this theodolite is to measure a angle. So in that, first, which is the horizontal angle measurement. So basically there are three methods of the measurement of horizontal angle. In that, number one, ordinary method, repetition method, and reiteration method. So let us start with one by one. First one is the ordinary method. So basically we have to measure the angle AOB with the help of this ordinary method. So see here two objects are there which is situated at point A and at point B, and O is nothing but the instrument station. Here we have to set up the instrument with proper adjustment, temporary adjustment and the permanent adjustment, and we can easily measure the horizontal angle. So the procedure is here to measure horizontal angle AOB. In that, set up the theodolite at station O and level it accurately. Then set up the vernier A to the 0 or 360 degree of horizontal circle. Tighten the upper clamp. Then third, loosen the upper clamp. Turn the instrument and direct the telescope towards A to bisect it accurately with the use of tangent screw. After bisecting accurately, check the reading, which must still read 0. Read the vernier B and record both readings. So on the vernier A it should be 0 and on vernier B it should be 180 degree. Then next most important point, which is loosen the upper clamp and turn the telescope clockwise until the line of sight bisect the point B on the right hand side. Then tighten the upper clamp and bisect it accurately by turning the tangent screw. Then read both the vernier. The reading of the vernier, which was initially set at 0, gives the value of angle AOB directly, and that of the other vernier B by deducting 180 degree. The mean of two vernier reading gives the value of required angle AOB. Changing the face of the instrument and repeat the whole process. The mean of the two vernier reading gives the second value of the angle AOB, which should be approximately or exactly equal to the previous value. The mean of the two values of the angle AOB, one with face left and the other with face right, gives the required angle free from all instrument error. So this is all about the ordinary method to measure the horizontal angle AOB. Then next method is there, which is the repetition method. So in that also we have to measure the horizontal angle AOB. So in the repetition method, the same angle is added several times mechanically, and the correct value of the angle is obtained by dividing the accumulated reading by the number of repetition. The number of repetition made usually in this method is 6, 3 with the face left and 3 with the face right. In this way, the angles can be measured to a finer degree of accuracy than the obtained with least count of vernier, which is 22nd. So this is all about the repetition method. Same process is there which we discuss in the ordinary method. Then next type, which is next method, which is the reiteration method. So in that we have to measure the horizontal angle of AOB, then BOD, then DOC, then COA, and the addition of this all angles is nothing but the 360 degree. So this method is another precise and comparatively less tedious method of measuring the horizontal angles. It is generally preferred when the several angles are to be measured at a particular station. This method consists of measuring several angles successively and finally closing the horizontal at the starting point. the final reading of the vernier A should be same as its initial reading. So this is all about the reiteration method. So in this method we have to set out the theodolite at the station O point and bisect it to the A point with vernier A and vernier B reading is 0 degree and 180 degree respectively. Then after losing the upper clamp we have to rotate the telescope towards B and fix the lower clamp as well as upper clamp. Take the reading. Note down this reading in the field book of angle AOB. We have to take both reading vernier A and vernier B, and when we take the difference between these two you will get the angle between AOB. Then simultaneously we have to lose the upper clamp and rotate the telescope towards the D, so that you will get the angle between BOD. Then similarly we have to turn the telescope to the C as well as A. So this the addition of this total angle is nothing but the 360 degree. So this is all about the measurement of horizontal angle with the help of telescope. Then next point is measurement of vertical angle. So the vertical angle is an angle between the inclined line of a side and the horizontal. So it may be an angle of elevation or the depression according as the object is above or below the horizontal plane. So see here three diagrams are there. In that the horizontal vertical angle measurement is given. So how to measure the horizontal angle? So in that basically when we measure the vertical angle between the inclined line of sight and the horizontal, since the vertical angle to a point is measured from the horizontal plane and passing through the horizontal, that is the Trunnion axis of instrument, it may be an angle of elevation, means in upward direction we consider is at a elevation, which is the positive angle, and the depression, which is the negative angle, which is we have to consider, which is the below the horizontal plane, is it right? So we'll see the procedure how to measure a vertical angle. So see here in this first diagram, here these are the horizontal line. So in that we have to measure the AOB. So basically we have to set up the instrument at point O and level it accurately with reference to the altitude bubble. Then set up the zero of vertical vernier exactly to the zero of the vertical circle by means of the vertical circle clamp and tangent screw, bringing the bubble of the altitude level to the center of its run by means of the clip screw. The line of collimation is thus made horizontal while the vernier read 0. Then next loose the vertical circle clamp and direct the telescope towards the vertical object A, and when it is sighted approximately clamp the vertical circle and bisect A exactly by the turning the telescope screw. Read both the vernier. The mean of the two reading gives the value of required angle. Then changing the face of the instrument and repeat the process. The mean of the two vernier reading gives the second value of the required angle. The average of the two values thus obtained, which gives the value of the required angle, which is the free from the instrumental error. So this is all about to measure the vertical angle between the 2 points, that is A and B. So this is the procedure to measure the horizontal angle. So see here in this diagram, here this is the horizontal line. First we have to set the instrument on on O, bisect A, then again measure the angle, which is angle alpha, and in the second case we have to same measure the angle beta. So addition of this you will get the angle AOB. Similarly here also we have to measure the angle AOB. So first of all we have to measure the AO with this horizontal angle or horizontal line, then measure this BO horizontal angle and deduct this, so you will get the angle alpha. Similarly here also Same procedure in the depression side. So this is all about the measurement of vertical angle with the help of 20-second transit vernier theodolite. So in the today's discussion we conclude here with discussing the fundamental axis of the theodolite, uses of the theodolite, principle of the theodolite, then basic terms which is required in the horizontal and vertical angle measurement. So thank you all of you